For the past few months, I was able to learn rather interesting topics regarding the spirituality in nursing and how they are critical in treating patients to recovery. What I've learned in this class is that spirituality helps patients cope with stress, make crucial medical decisions, and it improves their quality in life, whether it be physically, mentally, or spiritually. Spirituality and nursing, standing on the holy ground. In this topic, we discussed of how Moses was able to stand upon the holy ground after being told to take off his shoes as it expresses disrespect to the presence of God himself. If we are to include this into the nursing field, what this is trying to portray is that taking off our shoes is a sign of reverence, humility, and respect. This is the best model of the spiritual posture of nursing practice, as in the Old Testament depiction of the burning bush. The symbolism of the burning bush is rather meaningful, as it represents the miraculous energy from God, sacred light, illumination, and a burning heart of purity, love, and clarity. In the historical perspective and the presence of God in nursing caring, back in the 1940s in Judeo-Christian tradition, a sister claimed that she understood the spirituality of their nursing practice. Though back in the day it was viewed as a vocation of service, incorporating an accepted element of ministry to those for whom the nurse cared, the mission that nurses must accomplish is to be driven by altruism, which defines the belief or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well-being of others, and empathy for the sick. These abilities were supported by God, and to Him alone were the thanks and glory. Theology is also important because in this theory encompasses the concepts of being, listening, and touching, and it was derived from the author's clinical practice experience with ill patients. This theory was supported by Christian parable of the Good Samaritan. To know more about this theory, it's originally defined by the Greek and is translating this term as an intellectual discipline and ordered body of a knowledge of God. To simply summarize this theory, it is basically about the concept of seeking understanding through faith. And his faith was viewed as a stance of the whole person towards God, who is characterized by love, trust, commitment, and hope. The reason why it is important for nurses to learn about theology is that it provides you the opportunity to broaden your horizons and develop personally and professionally, or to obtain basic knowledge of most common religions in order to deliver a holistic care that meets the patient's needs. Also, caring is one of the most important of a nurse, because patient care is not just about the medical aspect of nursing, because they can experience stress about their conditions, injuries, surgeries, and recovery. Caring can save a life of a patient, offer a death with dignity, and convey trust and commitment to patients, staff, and families. Caring is a central concept in the discipline of nursing. Holistic nursing is about the body, the mind, and the spirit connection. Holism is a philosophical approach in support of the belief that the whole is greater than the sum. It takes a mind, body, spirit, emotion, and environment approach to the practice of traditional nursing. This form is founded in caring, relationship, and interconnectedness. Overall, holistic caring is enriching the life of the nurse and having the ability to understand that failure to care for themselves reduces their ability to care for others. Going to the topic of standing upon the holy ground again, according to Sister Macrina Care, she advised nurses to come together with their patients in caring and compassion as standing on holy ground. Once standing on holy ground, it means that the God heard your voice, including nurses, and aid will be provided. Overall, it means that the patient's moans will be heard and healed by the presence of God. Nurses are healers. As nurses stand upon the holy ground for the sick, it is well situated to be the instrument of God's healing. In the field, nurses heal through relationship-centered care, in which is considered therapeutic and paramount between the nurse and patient, and through which the patient is assisted to achieve the balance critical to health and wholeness. As we become nurses, we are willing to take risks each and every day in taking care of the patients and showing commitment to make lives healthier. For the nurse Judeo-Christian tradition, spiritually oriented sculptural models of healing abound in both Old and New Testament. Before we become nurses, it is important that we are provided a basis for beginning a discussion of spirituality and contemporary nursing practice. One must hold a common knowledge of the concepts of spirituality and nursing. In spirituality, we are to learn and understand the beliefs related to God or non material forces of life and nature. As spirituality gets involved into care, it will produce positive effects on individual stress responses and spiritual well-being, all in order to create balance between physical, psychosocial, and spiritual aspects of self. So there are three dimensions. The three dimensions of caring that defines professional nursing practice were found in being, listening, and touching. Being one of the dimensions indicates the idea of a nurse presence of simply being with a patient or family member during the time of need, meaning the interventions carried out with the ill patient. So to carry a caring presence, not listening is to be respectful. To be more specific, is to not listen, for they may be too fatigued to speak. Not touching, for they may be in pain. So just be in their presence whenever they feel lonely. Listening is another dimension, and it seems how it is pretty straightforward, is that it's the ability to listen in both art and a learned skill, and is required for a nurse, because in order to become a caring presence to a patient, it is best for the nurse to attend to the client with open ears, eyes, and mind. Finally, the last dimension, touching. According to the message made by the Christian gospel, he teaches us that touch was important to Jesus, and that touch was used to heal and care during the interactions with his followers. If we are to apply this into nursing, touching is pretty loving, empathetic, and compassionate, as it is the most vital dimension of nursing theology of caring. At times, nurses can exchange kind and caring greetings or provide words of comfort and support. So overall, touching is physical, emotional, mind, body, social interaction, and spiritual, overall a comfort. So I want to say that my message towards the senior high is that my message to the dear senior high, that please be aware that nursing is a difficult road and it's never easy. But if you want to become one, please remember that as soon as you become a nurse, you will be given indescribable personal fulfillment and satisfaction. You will care for patients during their happiest, vulnerable, and saddest moments. So, and if you are you're pretty much born to make a difference in their life. No matter how small your actions, that will remain in your memory. So please study hard and smart, because the road you'll be taking will continuously hit you as you walk on it. But please don't give up. Even if you fail, you will always be given another chance. Also, to keep in mind that God will always have a plan for you in the end. So